what makes this different from any other head coaching roles that you've had in the past?
Well, it's one of the highest levels that you can coach at. So it's truly a blessing to see that everything that you did leading up to this point was result oriented.
Good morning, Warrior family, to another season preview. This morning, I'm accompanied by head coach of the women's basketball team, Coach Wallace. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing blessed.
Good to see you as always.
Thank
Early
you.
mornings back in the grind.
Absolutely, grind.
How was your off season? I know it was kind of hectic, but was there any time to just decompress and just kind of relax a little bit?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
It's only 100% in season. I think making the transition from a senior associate head coach and a director of recruiting on the men's side, you stay in the framework of just trying to form partnerships and bring the right people that's going to transition into our community of academics, our community of athletics, and the community of what partnership truly means. And that's non-transactional relationships, pouring into players on and off the floor, and being a blessing in their lives and being a pillar for the development of their future. So definitely not an off season for me. It's only in season, and obviously we're here now. For sure.
And personally, I want to say congratulations on getting the new head coaching role. I think it was well deserved. Pretty much a whole new roster. Yeah. We got 14 new players. Speak a little bit about your mindset in framing this roster.
I think before I go into mindset, it's just a ton of support from yourself. Obviously, being now an assistant coach for us, so congratulations to you. I want to thank Coach Johnson as well for everything that she's done up to this role. Our Dean of Athletics, Sean Harris, and obviously the men's basketball coaches. Just the support that I've gotten from that group all the way across the board has helped this transition and acquisition be as smooth as possible.
Definitely. So obviously with this being a new transition, new role for you, you've been a head coach before, but what makes this different from any other head coaching roles that you've had in the past?
Well, it's one of the highest levels that you can coach at. So it's truly a blessing to see that everything that you did leading up to this point was result oriented, and to be able to take the infrastructures that you put together, the principles that you put together, share those things, get buy-in and partnership from others, from the coaching staff, from the athletic administration, the impact that I believe has been made in the men's program, and be able to now set the direction for our women's team from a leadership standpoint, pouring into their lives on and off the court, extremely important. And then obviously winning and competing for championships, I think is important, and to be able to fully orient the way that you want to coach, the way that you want to lead, the systems, all those things, just having that autonomy to finally do it in a manner that you see fit for the group that you've recruited is a golden opportunity for me, and to do it at the highest level, and to prove myself right, and to prove everybody who is on board and a part of this, and to help shape the lives of young people and help our coaches be promoted for their goals and dreams. I don't think there's anything that's better than that.
I feel that. I appreciate that. I do want to commend you on the roster that you've assembled, and I feel like it is ready to withstand the schedule that we've prepared as well. Could you speak a little bit about the schedule? I know we're not running from no smoke. It's early, preseason game 1 against Pepperdine. What was the reason for front loading the schedule like this?
I think a lot of times when you are in these type of forums for conversation with coaches, there's a lot of coach talk, and I'm not one for that. My conversations are really, really real, and I think when you set a high standard and you talk about exceeding expectations, I just think when you talk and have that type of conversation, it's just the expectations were too low. Our expectations are to compete for an NAIA championship and to win the California Pacific Conference. So in order to do so, you have to create a real version of who you are and the reality of what we are and what we do on a day-to-day basis. That was one of the reasons. And I think the other reasons is that the type of players that you bring in order to challenge them and get the best out of them day in and day out, and for them to buy into what you're doing, you need to be able to create a reality that can harm their processes, and to have them go back in and reorient and redirect and make change and not have resistance from them. So that had a lot to do with how we scheduled. And the other aspect is just I'm a natural competitor. Our coaches are natural competitors. We want to win, and we want to see what we need to change, and to be able to do so in the early stages is best for us as a team.
2024-2025 Westcliff women's basketball. It's a completely new roster for the most part. Could you speak a little bit about some captains or leaders that you feel that will help push the principles and ultimately lead us to success this year?
I think we got a good framework for who we think our captains are going to be. Haven't announced them yet. We'll be doing so here pretty soon with the upcoming game. I think captains and leaders work hand in hand. We have tremendous experience and leadership from individuals that had to do more for the teams that they previously played for. You know, Haley Bearfield coming back from Division I, Division II, also played recently for an NAIA program. Jayla Relaford playing in the CalPAC Conference and the experiences that she's had there. Elaine, who's coming off an injury but played at Division II Humboldt. When you have that type of experience and then you look at your roster and say that there's not but very little drop-off, where we can go 11 deep and not have to worry about rest periods, time frames of being able to let a person sit out for 2 or 3 minutes in their recovery process. It says a lot about their buy-in. It says a lot about the coach's commitment, because people don't see what we do behind the scenes in their preparation, and people don't see the performance outcome versus expectation. That's what we have to play out at this particular point. So I think with the leaders that we have, the depth that we have on this roster, and the skill, function, and IQ of each and every player combined with the schedule that we're going to play, it should really set the tone for a great season for us this year.
Most definitely. This schedule is fairly rigorous, but I think this is a roster that can withstand that and triumph over that. If there was an identity, I know it's early and they haven't really kind of built an identity, but if there's an identity for this 2024-2025 team, and you look back at the end of the season and say, this team had this, this, and this, and that's why they were successful, what would that be?
Consistency and competitive excellence and intelligent preparation would be the identity. Toughness with exaggerated technique, being able to exaggerate our principles, being individuals that are willing to prepare outside of the floor, put great effort and detail into our planning, their performance result every single day, and truthfulness in where they're at when we have dialogue and conversations week to week.
Definitely.
That's going to set the tone for ultimately winning a CalPAC championship and competing for a national championship.
Yes, sir. And that's the goal. Appreciate 100%. You as always.
Appreciate you as well.
Thank you all for tuning in. Please stay tuned to Westcliff Women's Basketball all season, as well as all of our Westcliff athletics. Thank you guys, and see you soon.